Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of SAGED Wrestling. I'm the host, Bobby Beckley, and man, we got a real special one today. The newest bronze medalist, U17 women's, uh, Jaclyn Bouzakis. How you doing today, girl?
I'm doing just fine.
Well, I appreciate you joining me and sitting down to talk everything out. How you feeling after having that bronze around your neck?
It was definitely it was a great experience. I'm happy to come back with medal. So it was great. Feeling good.
Good. And I know we talked a little bit, like just for a quick sec before we got on live here or got started recording. And I just, I know, I think it's in your DNA that you obviously, like you said, you wanted that gold. But at the end of the day, as a country, like sitting hit back, watching it as as fans, and always like wanting our country to do well, like I can promise you, like nothing to hang your head about. We're all super proud of you, and you should be proud of yourself. And to be honest, that every time I see you step on a mat, like you just continue to grow, and it's been fun because I remember when I first learned about you, like just watching through Nick, you know what I mean? And then it led down, and then I was like, wait a minute, they got a little sister. I was like, I gotta look into her, and I was like, she might be the best one. So it's definitely been fun to watch you grow and get better. But what I'm guessing your brothers or dad had something to do with it. But what first led you to wrestling? How did you first get onto the wrestling mat?
Well, obviously my brothers started way before me. And so I was always I was homeschooled most of my life when I was younger. So I would always be at their practices and always be alongside them every time they were training. And then one day I remember Mark Anthony's little sister, who also wrestles, we were playing dress up on the side of the mat with some of our dress up clothes. And we had these plastic high heel shoes on, and we got yelled at by coach that we couldn't be on the mat unless we're wrestling. And so at that moment, we kind of just threw off all of our dress up clothes, and we had our wrestling stuff already on. And from there on, we both haven't stopped wrestling. So
I'll tell you, yeah, cut. That's too funny. That's an awesome story. I mean, that's I always like to hear how people got introduced to it, and I'll give it to you. I think the Bouzakis family takes it because your brother had a pretty interesting one himself too. So you guys definitely that's awesome though. I mean, definitely different than most. Most people's just like, yeah, dad said, hey, throw me on the mat, so that's what it was. And when I looked into your family, like I seen your dad, like I assumed that was how you guys got into it because Mr. Troy was such a phenomenal wrestler, like to where like I it led me down like looking into you, like all three of you, and uh it led me down to him and just watching him while he was in New York and just winning state titles and going to Clemson and just doing his thing. And and now he's a big part of your coaching, correct?
yeah, definitely. He's the main reason we got into it, just to kind of live up the Bazakis name. So he's definitely the biggest part of it.
Absolutely. Now, is it hard with dad being coach, or do you guys do pretty good, or is it kind of at times like see, I never had that issue because dad never had nothing to do with wrestling, so I could just kind of jump out there and all I had to worry about was coaches. So just kind of curious how do you guys butt heads, or is it a smooth, pretty does it work out pretty well for you guys?
Most of the time, it's nice. Sometimes it can be aggravating, every part of the day. Like he wants to talk about wrestling, and I can be eating breakfast, and then he make me get up and get in a stance and help me on certain moves. But it's definitely nice to always have a coach around you that's always trying to help better you. But sometimes it's a little, you know, how
Can
dads
be
can.
much. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, girl. Definitely. But I can tell you he seems to because I've even seen him. Well, to be honest, I've heard him on the side of the mat. Uh, with because he gets after it, and I'm personally a huge fan of like from him down. I mean, just the solid family. Just I love how he you could just tell the passion that he has for it, and it definitely you can see how it hits all of you like that because you guys all have such a love and such a you guys wouldn't be at the levels you are. And honestly, how old are you, Jaclyn, if you don't mind me asking?
I just turned 15.
And you just turned 50. That's incredible. Like, and you just went to the U17s, like so, and brought home a bronze, and you just turned 15. So like the future is unreal for you. Like that's great. Most of the girls you were wrestling are 17. Like I did a podcast with Haley
Yeah.
in just a couple days ago, and she's exactly 17. So I don't know if there's is most of the girls on the team seven like right at 16, 17, or are they is there a couple of them younger like you, or are the
Yeah.
most of them?
Most of them around 16, 17. Like a lot of the girls I know are going to be doing like U20 next year. So a lot of them I won't unfortunately be able to make the team again with them. But it's nice that I have a few more years to make U17 and hopefully get a gold.
Absolutely. It could, to be honest with you, at this level that you're going, like in a couple, and like by the time you're 16, 17, you might be able to go get you a gold at U20s because like it, when I even look at like, because I had to go back and like the only two losses that I really see is the one at the World Championships, like genuinely like, and then at Fargo, and both of them were to gold medalists, right? Did the girl yeah, because Turner ended up winning one.
Yeah,
And
a lot of the girls that like I don't wrestle like I'm just starting to get into wrestling girls like a lot more, and I've probably only lost to a total of probably around 5 girls, and I know 3 of them won Fargo this year, and then of course the one at Worlds who got a pretty close match in the finals.
oh, it's there. I know it was, and that one had to be, but that's just something like I wanted to actually ask you about, like, because it really hit home for me, like, to where was it hard for you to get your mindset? So you take that hard loss, you're up 4-2, you end up dropping, I believe it was 5-4 or
Yeah.
6-4, 5-4, 6-4, something like that. And how hard was it to refocus to come back for that bronze medal match and take that win? Was it like some people kind of just they fall into that hole and they let it kind of take over the tournament. And you didn't seem to do that because you come back for the bronze medal match and you, heck, you get a fall. Just the tech wasn't good enough. You had to get the fall, which was awesome. I mean, we were jumping out the seats, so it was definitely an awesome thing to see. But just after that loss, that transition in between them two matches, what was I guess your mindset? What was your mindset with it?
It was definitely tough coming off the mat. Like I was shocked. Like I just lost the match get me to get the chance to win a world championship, and I was pretty upset. But I'm like, there's nothing I can do now, so I might as well just come back the next match harder than ever and prove that I could have made it to the finals. I just, it just didn't get the match just didn't go my way that time, but I know I just got off the mat. Took me a few minutes to totally comprehend what just happened. Got ready to make weight next day. Made weight. Had a whole day to recover, which was definitely like a big part of it to get all that time to rehydrate, eat, get some food in me, and then not have to worry about, oh, I shouldn't eat this, shouldn't drink this because I got to, make weight the next day. So that definitely did have a big effect on it. But obviously, I'm not going to use it as an excuse to why I lost that match. But it was definitely nice to have all that recovery time for my bronze medal match. And I was super motivated the last match. Like, okay, I win this and I get to go home. So it was nice to go out and like leave it all on the mat and not have to worry about doing anything after.
Yeah, absolutely. And you looked fresh. You looked ready. You looked because I guess that was my biggest fear as somebody that's been watching you through the past 2 years, like just doing your things with U15s, now U17s and Pan Ams and Fargos, and just a giant fan. Like I've been saying. So like I was really like, man, I hope it doesn't, because honestly, I guess I've had it happen to where I was at the state tournament, lost the match, and I got in my own head. You know what I mean? And I let it ruin the rest of the tournament for me. So like not everybody's that way. Then I also had another one where I did really well and came back and took third also. But at the same time, I that was where my head was like, man, hopefully she can come back, especially because I feel like you carry yourself very like I would never say 15, like you carry yourself and even like your mental, like your mind state, like how you were able to put yourself back, like it shows your maturity very much. So I mean, that's kudos to you, kudos to your parents and just everybody that you're surrounding yourself with, because I feel like that's a huge part of being successful in this sport.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not the probably most maturest person. Like when it comes to outside of wrestling, I like to, fool around like most other like kids. But when I step on the mat and like when I'm around and I have to like, especially when representing the United States, you got to really like stand tall and show that you're not here to mess around.
But see, even that right there, like, I mean, because I get you though, like, I respect the answer, but like, it's a very mature answer, and like at the end of the day, like you said, like, I can definitely see, hey, if you 15 years old, you're gonna want to go, you're gonna want to do your thing. I, it, but heck, I'm 35, and I still, you turn this camera off, and I'm a weirdo. So at the end of the day, like, you got to have fun with it too, right? But that's something else I wanted to touch on. Like, you're not homeschooled anymore? Are you a part of? Do you go to SEM?
So I've bounced around a lot. I've moved so many times, gone to
I've
so
I've
many
looked, I've
schools.
tried it, and I dig, girl, because I dig hard. I'm like, where does she go to school?
Yeah, so I lived in Florida most of my life. That's where like I mostly did homeschooling and like online, just like for training. Then I moved up to Pennsylvania around 3 years ago. I went to sim for fifth, sixth, and seventh grade, and then during eighth grade, I'm like, okay, this is my last year of like smaller wrestling. So I decided to do online just so I can like focus on training, and especially with all this traveling, it can really affect like academically, but that's why online was so like nice. It was flexible and I can go to all these different tournaments, do all this different training and camps without it affecting like me academically. So I did online this year, and next year for high school for my freshman year I'm planning on going to Wyoming Seminary.
Nice. And they have just like they have a full girls team at SEM, right?
Yeah, so just recently the head coach left and she's now coaching at a different high school. So they're currently looking for a coach, but we have like, of course we have like multiple coaches to fill in, which one is Brett Fry, and he's probably one of my favorite coaches. He's a boys coach, and he went to Worlds for Greco, so he's,
Yep.
he's super tough on me and treats me like one of the dudes technically. So
Uh,
I'm really excited to like train with him and like him be my coach for until they find someone to fill the position. But he coached me a lot during like the U like before U15 Pan Ams and all like the past like 2 or 3 years. So I definitely am
Now
excited.
is he up for the head coaching position? Is there a chance that he could get it, or are they kind of looking just to keep him as an assistant and bring somebody else in?
He's definitely, I don't think he's going to take the head position because with the girls program it's nice to have a female coach, but he's I think he's going to stay the assistant coach just cuz you know, it's not his main job, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And what else? I tell you what kind of is crazy with Sem is they go like because your brother Vince wrestled at Green Pond last year. He's back at Sem now, right?
Yeah, last year yeah, I went to Notre Dame. This year he's coming back.
Back. Okay. Because then I didn't know if you went to Green Pond too, so I was just like trying to see where you guys went because I was like, man, well, I know he was at Green Pond because he went to the States and now he's back at because I was hoping you guys would all because Ironman tournament is now trying to get women's teams, like get the girls teams in for high school, and they've been I've just been seeing them trying to reach out, and I was really hoping Sem would take a trip down there so I could get to watch you guys because your brother was down there for Green Pond last year, and it would be I mean especially with you being there now, it would be like ah that'd be awesome. Have you guys heard anything like hey? maybe a trip down for Ironman or anything?
We definitely have it on our calendar, but I'm not totally sure like if I'm going there this year because I'm not. But we'll see. Like it's kind of like taking it slow, but I mean, definitely like something we're wanting to do.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It'd be awesome, and I especially with them having its own separate, like with the girl side of things and boy, I thought it was really cool that they were finally doing that, like for Ironman because it's my favorite tournament. I live an hour and a half from Walsh Jesuit where they hold it at, so um, definitely a big fan and like would love. I mean, it'd be nothing better than to have you guys down there just because with just seeing it live can't be it's got to be better than seeing it through flow and everything else. So
Yeah.
hopefully you guys do make the trip. But I wanted to also touch a little bit on how these last like with your teammates. I know so you and Turner, so you guys meet up at Fargo, and it's 2-2. She wins by criteria. Like, does that ever affect or like do you guys keep it cordial? Like, because then you end up being on the same world team, and you guys spend all this time you're overseas together. Like, are you guys really good friends, or was it something that's like, man, I got to get her back again? Like, how does that all play out?
Yeah, it's like with wrestling, like losing, like it did suck, but like I have nothing against her. Like I respect her so much. She's such an amazing wrestler, like winning worlds, winning Fargo and everything else she's done, like her whole career. Like it didn't affect like our relationship. We're okay friends. Like she's probably the funniest person I know, like at Worlds. She's a good partner and everything. So it didn't like it wasn't anything personal because obviously you can't wrestle everyone you want to and don't want to wrestle. So it was nothing I could control. So obviously it's nothing I'm gonna hold against her because
Yeah.
I mean
Would you
it's
like it? Would you like another shot at it?
definitely I think third time's the charm. I know I wrestled her like 2 years ago, and I think I got cradled and pinned. So 2-2 is definitely a little bit of improvement, but I think
Yeah, it was the best Fargo's final in my opinion. Like when it came like you two, I mean, just the names themselves was just it was awesome. It really was, and like you guys just kept everybody engaged, and you have just such amazing positioning, and on top of it, like this really stingy defense, and I feel like that's like your positioning is what I notice so much stands out is like you never. It's like you're never out of position like and she takes great shots but it's hard to shoot on somebody that's so stingy all the time, you know what I mean? And then whenever you do it's you're a very calculated wrestler for being 15 years old. Like I will give it to Mr. Fry and your dad and Mr. Bouzakis. Like I they phenomenal, like whatever they've done it's working because it's definitely a joy to watch. And I could definitely we appreciate it as fans, and that's for dang sure.
thank you. I know going into the match, like she has like the best doubles like I've ever seen, and I know that's something I really had to look out for. And I was able to block a few, and then I think after I scored, I kind of like slowed down, and then I got she hit another shot, and 2-2. I was just
You
I was
think you were just kind of sit back and kind of hold on to it, like to a point, like just hey, play good defense type deal, and it kind of caught up, or just like I guess what do you mean by slowed down? Like just were you trying to just kind of hey, let's protect the lead?
Yeah, I don't think I really wrestled the smartest that I should have, but I was kind of too like it's Fargo finals, like it's a lot of pressure, and I was like, oh, maybe I should just keep it close and you know see
Yeah,
what happens. But then that caught up to me. She scored, and then losing off criteria, it's tough. But knowing regret is like the worst thing, and knowing I could have came out of that match with like working more of my defense instead of like my offense instead of my defense towards the end is I regret it a lot, but there's nothing I can do now. So
yeah, absolutely, girl, and you should be proud of you because I'm telling you, like I said earlier in the conversation, and I don't mean to sound tacky or corny or anything, but I really want you to know, like us, like, and I'm not the only one because I have a bunch of family that loves and watches wrestling and friends and just people in general within the community that I deal with and talk to that are very, very proud of you and very, we wouldn't want anybody else holding it down for 40 kilograms for us at U17s, nobody in the world. And
Thanks.
yeah, so just I promise you, if you keep doing your thing, like we we're the sky's the limit for you because like you said, look, I mean, it's a prime example. Whenever you get cradled 2 years ago, and now you're 2-2 by criteria, and to be honest, like like you said, there ain't you can't change it. But at the end of the day, like, hey, when you go from getting cradled and getting pinned to 2-2, like you said, that third one and you just keep growing and growing and growing to where it's like people are going to start like not wanting to see you. Like they're going to be like, ah, they already don't. Like to be honest with you, half these girls are like, ah, I guarantee it. They're like, shoot, we got to go up and it's Jaclyn. Here we go. Go out here and get punched in the mouth real quick.
Yeah, I definitely have like so much to improve on, but that's
If you
why
had to pick one thing, what would it be? Would it be parterre? Um, would it be neutral? Like if you had your defense, if you had to pick one thing, like, man, this is what I really want to get better at. This is where I really would like to put my work in. What would it be?
definitely like transitioning from taking them down to like on top and like turning, because like I'm watching like the U20 worlds now, and like I'm seeing like
Mm,
all these like match ending turns. Like you could be an okay wrestler but an amazing wrestler on top, and like one takedown like could end the whole match. So that's definitely something I need to focus on, because I didn't get many turns at worlds or at Fargo. So knowing that that's something I need to improve on. Like if I can really perfect that and get much better at it, like my performance and like how I do in my matches can definitely like take a turn for the best.
absolutely. So just working on that gut, working on that lace. But I'll tell you what, though, like I feel like you have an older brother that might be the best in the world at it or best in the country. Like he's up there. Like Nick is such a special guy. I just a hammer. He is the word I want to use for him because he's just like all the time. I feel like just red, just a hammer. But whenever he does, like I feel he transitions very beautifully, like from one to another, and he's definitely you have someone very good to learn from, very close to you to pick that up. So I don't know how much you see him with him being at Ohio State and doing everything he's doing, uh, and so I'm not sure how that all works. But whenever you guys do link up, do you guys wrestle at all, or uh, you guys kind of keep it family without with just not being able to see each other that often with him being gone?
Well, definitely like when he was here during like when he was at sim, like we did a lot of like one-on-one practices with like me and both my brothers. So I think Vince mostly wrestles with him, but it's weird. Like Nick went to college and he's definitely like he's stayed the same, and my other brother Vince, he's bigger than Nick now. It's weird like to be younger and bigger, but Nick is kind of this short, little, like muscly little guy, and my other brother is like really tall and like long and strong. So it's weird, kind, because they're two totally different type of wrestlers. Like Nick definitely is like on the strength side and always like pounding on their head, and Vince is more like fluid moving. So I think I'm kind of like a mix of both of them, because I
Yeah,
have like growing up watching both of them wrestling, I kind of take from like both of their styles. So it's I definitely don't get to wrestle with him directly as much, but like
yeah.
watching him, I get to learn from him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you definitely did. Like, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head because they do wrestle like such completely different styles. And you do fall like square in the middle because you will go out there and rattle and give them a hard collar and like and some good snaps. And then next thing you know, you have like this beautiful single when it's like, and to be honest, like Nick actually said it in an interview and he's like, she's probably going to be better than all of us. And, uh, and this ain't a knock on it, but I believe he's right. Like I don't, and that's not saying that they're not going to do amazing things because I think the future is bright for all three of you, and I hope it is because like I'm an Ohio guy, so I love where Nick chose. I can't wait to see him get after it at 133. I really hope Vince follows right in his footsteps. If not, I mean, whatever's best for him, I get it and understand, but it would be cool just to have the Bouzakis family just come right here to Ohio and we can shoot down to Columbus and watch you guys all the time.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, I'm so like excited for Nick. Like, he's definitely like set the path and the trail for both me and Vince. So watching him succeed so much, like it sets the bar high, but it also shows like we can do
You
what he.
set the bar.
I mean, I kind of did, but I think
You
Nick did it
did.
first. So you know.
You set it high, girl. You got I and but you're right. As somebody, I'm the youngest of three boys, so like I had two older brothers to look up to. So I was in your situation, and um, I definitely can relate to just being able to like, hey, whenever they set that bar, you want to be able to surpass it, and um, us little ones, we end up doing it though. Like that you can set it as high as you want. We're gonna jump right over.
Yeah, it's definitely like growing up with like brothers who are like so good at like the sport that everyone else does. Like, it's a bit aggravating, like, especially growing up and being known as, oh, are you Nick Bouzakis' little sister? It's like, yeah, but I'm my own person. Like, I do my own
That
things. So the goal is to make people go up to him and be like, oh, are you Jaclyn Bouzakis' big brother? So
that's it,
that's
and that's I like that. I like that. But it's see, and if you look at my headline, I want you to look right here at this. Look, it says Jaclyn Bouzakis, U17 World Bronze Medalist. You know what I mean? Because that's you are paving your own way. You are starting your own way, and it's something that you're not going to be the little sister anymore, and you're working your way out of that. And um, I definitely can respect not wanting to be in that because I can relate, like I said, as being the little one myself. So I never, especially my oldest brother, he was kind of like Nick, like he was very athletic, very good, football, wrestler, just whatever he did, he was good. And at the end of the day, it made you want to like, all right, I got to find a way. And I think you're doing a heck of a job, and I hope that it all keeps rolling the way that you want it to. And I guess what's next? What's next? All right, so you just finished U17, you bring home this bronze medal. Where we go from here? Like, what's just getting ready for the season at SEM?
yeah. So I have a few like of like my first high school tournaments. Like, I have like I think the next big one is Super 32, which I'm like really excited for because I've competed at Super 32 almost every year my whole life in the middle school division. And for the middle school division, there is no girls division; it's only boys. So last year, I came up a little short. I ended up getting fourth. So I feel like coming into the girls division,
You
uh,
took fourth at Super 32s in the boys division in middle school.
yeah, it was a little rough. I think I had the number one seed and I lost 0-1 to him, and I came
Dude,
back.
that's still insane. Like that's such a phenomenal tournament. Even the middle school part of it is so great. I mean, and you took four, like that's incredible. Like that's incredible. Like I don't know. Is there any other female that's done that? I don't think. Like I'm telling you, like I eat, breathe, and sleep this sport. Like, and I don't think any woman has placed like that. That's awesome. But yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Like once you said that, I was like, what? So
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
so this time once you get to high school, it switches to
yeah.
just
They have a girls division. It's kind of weird that they haven't developed a girls division for like middle school Super 32, but it's hopefully over like time it'll change because I know a lot of my friends like they can't even go because boys at like I'm lucky enough to be as small as I am that boys in like having testosterone and all that. Like it hasn't made as big as an impact as it
Yeah.
like will when I'm bigger in high school. So I was lucky enough to like I think I wrestled 80 pounds this like last year. So, the kids they're right at the edge before they actually, like totally
Yeah.
like bump up and become these big, strong dudes. But
Yep.
so it
I'll
was
tell you what, though, that's crazy. That's something that might be, I think, my favorite thing you've done. Like outside of the bronze. Like, I mean, we're not gonna, I mean, we're talking about the world championships here, but I mean, but even like the Fargos, the Pan Ams, like, I mean, they're all great. Don't get me wrong, but like fourth at Super 32s against boys, like that's a monster move.
yeah, I definitely do think I wish I did better. I mean, the past few years, like wrestling boys, I've started to lose more and more, and it makes you mad, but then you switch over to wrestling girls who are a totally different body type, and it definitely like helps me like strength wise. So then stepping on the mat after wrestling guys my whole life, it definitely like gives me an advantage, and you know, it's a totally different like again, it's a different body type. So
Yeah.
wrestling. These guys and then switching over to wrestling girls like it it helped me a lot, like even though it's definitely not it wasn't the easiest. I would have loved to wrestle girls at like all these different tournaments, but
Yeah.
obviously I didn't get the chance since it's still like a growing sport. It definitely helped me in my wrestling today.
And I'll tell you what, though, like I feel like the women's side of thing, at least in like the last couple of years, it's just like this year I went to the state tournament and it was the first time that I ever seen like they had its own, at least here in Ohio, like it was they like walked in and half was the women's side and the girl side, and then you had the boy side on this side, and it was like this is awesome. I was a huge fan because it was like this is the way it should be. Like give them their platform, give them their flowers, like you know what I mean. Like let them have their. I just feel like it's long overdue, and it's just growing and blowing up. And I think women's wrestling is just taken off to where I have a 2-year-old son, but like I lightweight wish I had a little daughter. Like, I mean, it's something me and the wife probably would she'd wrestle. But at the end of the day, like I'm glad that like even girls like you probably don't realize how much you've paved the way. Like I'm 35 years old. I've been out of wrestling for a long time. Love the sport. Want to be around it so much that I started a podcast and have been blessed enough to be able to talk to some really great people. And I've really tried to only reach out to like really genuinely good people and good wrestlers and top of the level. And here you are, like, and I truly believe like not only are you a very very good person and humble and very mature for your age, but you also are at the highest level at your age. Like you're not even at your age. You're beating girls 2 3 years older than you in the world, and it's crazy. It is like it. I'm very excited for your future. I'm very. I think I've said that like 5 times, but I am
Thank
super
you.
excited to see where it goes. Like whenever you hit 18, 19 years old, and like it's just gonna be like I can see you on the senior level. You know what I mean? And like and even if not though, like at the end of the day, like you with having lucky enough to have U20s, U23s, like we're going to be blessed with wherever whatever team you end up on. You know what I mean? We're going to be all right. Like you're going to be one of them for sure. Like you have that type of very unique talent at what you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, man. Well, thank you. We appreciate it, especially because at the end of the day, like you said, like how and you said it perfectly. Like whenever you put on that USA singlet, like it, it you want to represent. You want to be like respected, like we're be respectful with it. And it's so true though, because like you have, I mean, here's a guy in Ohio you didn't know existed, you know, before Worlds, but was sitting there just jumping out of his seat for you, like just cheering you on because you had that singlet on. You know what I mean? Now, granted, like I knew you way before Worlds, but at the end of the like several years before, but at the end of the day, it just so many people are watching, so many people are fans, and I can promise you, like there's 100,000, if not like way more than that, just very, very proud of Jaclyn Bouzakis and bringing home bronze, and oh, can't wait to see you do it again next year. And
Thank you. Thank you.
but moving up, I know you want to do more with it.
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
Gold, the gold's gold. I mean, yeah, that's where I want to be, but obviously, like losing, it shows like there's room for improvement, and there's always room for improvement. So, I mean, it was nice, like at the beginning of the year, like winning Pan Ams, then winning World Team Trials, and then getting the Fargo finals, and then, you know, losing, and then going to Worlds, and getting bronze. It shows that you can't constantly be the best at like every tournament you go to. So I'm really excited for next year, especially like being in high school and finally like being with the big girls and
Yep.
being able to train with all like bigger bodies will definitely help me achieve that goal of gold.
And you'll be able to go and you'll wrestle at national preps too, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
that's something I'm really excited for. Yeah.
yeah, me too, because I always loved watching it, and I really never got into it, and honestly, you, you guys going to moving up to SEM is a big part of like because it's always been a state tournament. Never really paid attention to preps. It's always been the PA state tournament and the Whippiols and like what the Green Pond and all them and uh when Nick first announced he was going to Ohio State, I was like, check this guy out. And then I was just like, what prep? What's this prep thing? What do you mean? What do you mean prep? Like if so they don't go to the state tournament. So like I kind of have just started learning about it to be honest with you. It's which is crazy because I've been around the sport forever, but like I just never knew there was like a prep nationals rather than a state. I just figured if you go to a state tournament, like you make it a state, you make it to state. So and then whenever you see the level of competition that's at preps is like I don't shoot it. It's just as hard as the state tournament. You know what I mean? Like it's a crazy tournament. Like I'm excited for you, especially I mean as a freshman. Like I hope you like. I mean I'm sure you're wanting to shoot in there and go get it 4 times. I mean is your plan to ride out while like stay at SEM all through high school for the next 4 years and try to go get 4 prep championships?
Yeah, that's the plan. I mean, the only reason I feel like we kind of like moved around for Vince is, he never really got this like the experience of like a regular high school season. Like this year, he got like would get dual matches every weekend. And definitely a lot of the kids he wrestled weren't exactly on his level, but he got like, he got to see what it was like for like other teams around the world to have these dual matches every weekend and get to like be with this very supportive team. And I think he's still excited to come back to Sim. Freshman year, it was a good year as well, but you know, he just wanted to kind of see what it's like for two different sides.
Last year was Vince's freshman year.
No, he's an incoming junior, but I was
He's going to
saying
be a
yeah, he was at Sim when he was a freshman, so he
So he
just
went freshman, and so he did his. How did he do it? Prep? Did he wrestle national preps at the prep championships?
I'm trying to think. I don't know if he did it when he was a freshman.
Because I tell you what, I feel like the matches that I watched him as a freshman, and even like I feel like it was like trying to find a weight for him last year at the beginning, and then you watch him at that state tournament. Because I was at Ironman and watched him, and I think he took seventh or eighth at Ironman, and then he just wherever they locked him in at like 145 maybe I think I can't remember but wherever it was like a whole different kid. It was like wow, this dude found his stride and he looked so amazing at the state tournament. He really did.
Yeah,
And
I think a lot of it had to do with like weight cut because, with Nick, like we tried to keep him below his weight class, like because we obviously didn't want them to have to wrestle off first spot or have to wrestle at the same tournaments at like the same weight class. So, like before like after he left, we're like, okay, Vince can finally grow. So he went to Ironman. It was a rough tournament. And then like he went to, I think, what was it, Beast of the East maybe. We were like, okay, you get to pick your weight class, and I think he told my parents like, hey, I want to bump up, and my dad was like, okay, if you want to bump up, we're bumping you up 2 weight classes. Like try and be like, we're always right, like trying to like prove a point. Like they wanted to see if he would lose. It'd be like, yeah, like you shouldn't bump up weight classes. And he goes off and he wins the whole thing. And he's like, so like definitely like with the weight, like he wrestles a lot better when he's kind of just like not having to worry about it too much, and
Yeah.
fueled like the whole time.
Now, for you to make 40, is it pretty easy, or do you got to do like when it came time for worlds, like is it really like, hey, we got to, because like I remember you saying in between, like especially that first day, where you're wrestling. I mean, how many times do you weigh in that first day? Because you wrestled what, 3, 4 matches that day?
Yeah, I weighed in at 8, and then I had quarters, and then I had semis later. So I think I wrestled at 11, and then like later around 4 maybe. So it was only like 2 matches, but with like it's not as much moving around if it was like multiple matches. So it's obviously like, okay, I gotta
Do you
watch.
weigh in before every match?
No, you only weigh in at the beginning of each day. So
That's
it definitely wasn't the easiest. I remember after World Team Trials, I was a lot lighter, and then I kind of like, like I had like a little growth spurt, and I got a little bigger. So then I was like, oh, all right, well I got Worlds coming up. So I feel like going to 94 at Fargo helped a lot because I already brought down my weight, and then from there I kind of slowly went down, and then I waited in the first day, and then I try not to think about it as much, like one day at a time. Let's make it to the second day before I even think about second day weigh-ins. So I remember I after my semis match, I was a little upset, but then I walked off the mat, stepped on the scale, like put on the sauna suit, ran a bit, and then I was good for the next morning. But it definitely wasn't like it was my normal walk around weight, but cutting down for Fargo and then slowly going down for Worlds just made it a lot easier.
because 40, if you're at 94 at Fargo, what's 40 is like what, 86, 80, 80,
88.
88? So I mean that's six though. I mean, especially on like a smaller frame, like it's 6 pounds a lot of weight. So is it more or less just a diet? Like just, hey, watch my diet, watch like when you're heading to Worlds, because like Worlds is a whole different. Like that's why I didn't know how they weighed in. I was curious. You just taught me something new, because like that's why I was just like, did they weigh in before every match? Like I never had the experience of what you just did. Like so I didn't know how they did things over there. But at the end of the day, like whenever you're going from 94 to 88, like is there a big difference on what you have to do to get down that 6 pounds with being like a littler frame like that?
I think, yeah, a lot of it had to do with diet and like kind of just cutting back and like eating the right things, and then like consistently still working out the same and like slowly going down. Second weigh-ins, it's a lot different because like you rehydrate and you eat a lot more, and then it definitely comes off a lot easier and a lot quicker because like it's all in you, and then you just have to flush yourself out one last time. So like when working out, like you've already drank so much water and everything, so you sweat a lot. So it definitely has a lot to do with diet the first weigh in, but the second weigh in it's kind of like, it's like regular like running and just like getting it all off all at once.
How was that flight over there? Did it take take a lot out of you with the long flight, and just whenever you landed, like could you feel a little bit of jet lag, a little bit uh going from that long flight overseas, or was it like, hey, just ready to get after it?
It definitely took a while to kind of like adjust to like the different time zone, and I kind of slept most of the flight, so I was definitely rested. But it was weird because I think the girls, like most of the girls had like 3 flights, and I think a lot of the boys got like direct flights there. So it was a lot of like, it was definitely exhausting.
I bet.
once I got there, but the sleep on the plane definitely helped. And after like a day and a half, like you kind of like readjust and you get back.
You enjoyed over there, Istanbul? Was it the countryside of things, like outside of wrestling? Did you get to enjoy it at all? Go and see sights and then actually just enjoy your time at all?
I definitely didn't enjoy it as much if I wasn't wrestling. Like, like you're kind of like focused and you're locked in and you're like, okay, I'm here to
This is my
wrestle.
purpose. Right.
Yeah, so I wasn't really able to enjoy it as much as I wanted to, but driving over on the bus from the arena to the hotel, like I was able to see a lot of like all the buildings, and it's crazy. Like Istanbul, I heard it's like 10 times the size of New York City, and I could definitely see that. Like there's so many buildings and
That's
so many
crazy.
people, but it's still like definitely like after that experience you still like appreciate America, because I know I got straight back from America, and I went out and I got like a giant bowl of Chipotle donuts. So it
The
was
little, it's the little things that get us though. But you're right. Like it's like, hey, this is awesome, but it's not home. Like it's cool to
yeah,
come see. Let me go win this gold, or I mean, next year, like wherever you end up, let's go win this gold. Hey, this is cool. All right, let's go home so I can get my
yeah,
Chipotle and everything else. Yeah, I definitely can respect it.
yeah.
But well, girl, I definitely don't want to hold you up too much longer. I appreciate it. I didn't mean to hold you up for 45. I usually try to wrap it up to 30, but I definitely appreciate you taking this time. I really do.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to put this one out there. And when you see Vince, tell him he's got to get on an episode with me because he's the only one missing it. And I
I
tell him,
got you. I'll let him.
look up Bobby Beckley or Sage Wrestling on Instagram, and we'll link up because I'd like to
Yep.
get all you guys.
Sounds good.
And you just keep doing your thing, girl, because like I said, we're very proud of you. Yeah, I mean, you've represented us well. You're a dynamite wrestler. Love to watch you. Can't wait to see what the future holds for you. I think the sky's the limit. I think that I think that this is like you said, like you you're no longer the little brother of Nick and Vince. Like you're Jaclyn Bouzakis, and people better like you done put your name out there now, so people are gonna know it, and we're gonna help let them know it because at the end of the day, like you brought home and you represented us well, and we appreciate everything that you did, girl, and can't wait to see you bring home that gold next year.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And at the end of the day, too, go get you a national prep too for Wyoming Sem. We're
Yep.
excited. Hopefully, be able to see you and run into you uh during the season because I'd love to run into you guys and you got a shirt I'd like to give you too just for taking the time to do this too. So we definitely appreciate it and make sure you stay in touch. And after you win that gold, we'll link up again and do this over.
Perfect.
All
Looking
right,
forward to it.
awesome. Well, you have a good night and I'll see you soon.
Bye. Thank you.
See Jaclyn Bouzakis. I'm telling you, I think you guys already know if you're watching this. Like, there's no way you're watching this and don't know that this girl is going to be. She just turned 15. 15, and just goes goes to U17s, wins wins a bronze medal, and she literally lost to the girl that wins the gold, and she's up 4-2, ends up dropping it. I believe it was 5-2 or 6-2, regardless, 5-4. She ends up dropping it, and just I mean, and you can I would never think that girl was 15. I mean, just by the way she speaks. I mean, just very well mannered, well put together, and wants to represent the USA. Wants to hold it down, and you just don't see like I guess I don't know. That's it's new to me. So at the end of the day, like I don't know. I get excited for just thinking about what she's gonna bring to Team USA and the next 15 years. You know what I mean? 10 years. Like it's gonna. you're gonna hear a lot about her, and we already have, obviously, like, but at the end of the day, like, I mean, like, seriously, like a lot, like just other than one bronze medal, like this girl's gonna bring home lots of gold, and she's got, and her brother Nick, he when I first started this, he was the first person that even gave me a shot, and it stinks I never got his episode up, but because my cam was cracked, but it just goes to tell you how humble and how I mean, I didn't have next to nobody follow. I still, we're still building, we're still growing, but at the end of the day, like we we didn't have nobody. Nick was like, heck yeah, like let's do it, man. And we talked for like an hour and 10 minutes, and it it was it, it was a dime. Hopefully, I can get him on to where we can actually be able to put it up and post it. But at the end of the day, the whole point is the Bouzakis family uh, just seems dynamite. And also, I wanted to throw out there's a foundation for Little Greco. Uh, it was their little brother that they lost, and due to cancer, and I'm not positive of the way, but I will find out, and I'll put the link in the bio on uh, how we can get put anything to the foundation if you guys want to. If not, um, just some hardships that they've went through and how they've came out on the other side. Just they, they really are an awesome family, and I was excited about doing this. And anytime I get to talk to one of them, and if you ever seen their dad, like if you've watched her, you've seen him. So at the end of the day, check him out. Even his videos, like Troy, uh, super. Mr. Bouzakis was the reason that they probably got rolling, got started. I guarantee, obviously, but this man, like, let me just real quick, 179-2 through high school. His two losses were in overtime at the state tournament. A little bit. His freshman year at college, the man it goes 26-1 at Clemson, and then tears up his knee. And I mean, at the end of the day, he's probably one of the top five guys to ever wrestle in the state of New York. That great. So I mean, they come from a great family, great things. I know I'm rambling here, but I just want you guys to really just check this family out. Very good people, very great wrestlers, very awesome. And yeah, so check them out. Follow us, Sage Wrestling, Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you watch these YouTube videos. Like, subscribe, hit it all, man, and shoot us some wrestlers, man. Like I said, well, I've said in the last couple episodes, like just if you guys know anybody good that in your state, in your area, that I don't care if they don't got to be four timers, they don't got to be all like just wrestle. Let's sit back and talk some wrestling. So anybody, we're open to anybody. So thanks again for watching. We love y'all.